is up, everybody? Black Dragon Squad here, coming to you for another deck review video. If you haven't checked out my last year's review video on my malefic deck profile, be sure to check that out. I hope all you guys are staying very safe and clean and everything and stuff during this time of crisis in our country. It's really hard to do things, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise and stuff. But nonetheless, you know, it's good that everybody can still come together and enjoy this game and stuff for YouTube and everything like that. Because of this situation, you know, it's really hard to obtain cards and a lot of other things. My logos, for example, is closed because of this. I mean, it's affected everybody in a lot of ways. But I was still able to obtain some of the newer cards that have came out from the Dual Overload set? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think it was Dual Overload.
Overload?
The new set with needle fiber.
Yeah. I pulled a needle fiber too, by the way. I didn't get that box reviewed on the video, but when I opened that, I also pulled a few of the new Malefic support, which is what I'm showing you today. If you read the title of the video, is Malefics. So this is going to be a little bit of an updated video on my Malefic deck profile. It's still somewhat like the old video, or the old deck, but with a few of the newer cards in there. And if you guys stay at the end of the video, I got a surprise gift I received in the mail right here. I'm going to show it off, and I haven't looked at it or taken it out of this little case right here yet. So I will do that towards the end of this video. So here's the newer version of Malefic deck. It's not pure Malefic, and it's also might not be the greatest Malefic deck, but it's what I got going on for me for right now from my old deck compared to some of the newer cards. So I'm playing one Marshmallow still. You have no idea how much this card literally sees play in my deck to help me actually get some stuff going for my Malefics.
You're not playing the old reliable anymore. You played that common for how long?
I played the common, and I upgraded for a secret rare because I just had to, because it is...
Oh, it's secret?
It's a secret.
And so you can't tell on camera, but there you go.
It's a secret.
Secret rare. The Swag Marshmallow. See, the funny thing is...
I see the common more than...
He's looking at you upside down.
I summoned this guy in attack mode and equipped it with Dimensional Guardian just because my opponent would try to freaking...
Why would you do that?
So, Marshmallow, this is obviously the main deck. I play 2 Malefic Paradox Gear. This is the new guy.
Ow.
He does a thing where he, like, I believe he summons Parallel Gear, and he adds a Malefic monster from your deck to your hand. And he can also be used as like a banish material for any other Malefic monster. Like, for example, when you banish Blue Eyes Malefic from your deck, you can banish him from your field or graveyard instead to summon that Malefic Blue Eyes. So, really good new card. And then I played the one Malefic Parallel Gear. Obviously, Paradox Surge's Parallel Gear now. Parallel Gear is the tuner monster. It is not an effect. The cost/requirement for him to single summon is that you have to use a Malefic monster out of hand. It is not an effect. Somebody tried to tell me that was an effect, and he tried negating it and all that other stuff, and beat me because of that. So it's very annoying when people... If it doesn't state effect on the card, it's not an effect monster.
Kind of like targeting.
Yeah.
If it doesn't say target, it probably doesn't target.
Exactly. I play one Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon. I added that card to my deck without a Blue Eyes White Dragon in it, and the only reason I'm putting him is because I'm using him for either the single material, which Malefic Paradox Gear now summons Parallel Gear, and adds a Malefic monster. So this is for the single play, or you can still summon him using Paradox Gear, you know, out of Paradox Gear's effect without having the Blue Eyes White Dragon in your deck, because that can potentially be a huge break in your deck. So now that kind of made this one of a little bit more useful. And then I play 2 Rainbow Dragon for absolutely no reason but to banish it to summon the Malefic Rainbow Dragon. and I play one malefic true dragon. This guy is the easiest and best level 12 5000 attack beat sticker in the entire game. He is so easy to summon out of your hand or graveyard by paying half of your life points whenever a malefic monster of any sort of malefic monster is destroyed by battle or card effect. And he destroys all face-up monsters on the field when he successfully makes an attack on any one other singular monster on the field. And he's, you can do that any moment in time. Like, if you destroy him, you can still bring him back. It's great. Then I played 2 Malefic Stardust Dragons, because he's a level 8. He's used for the single summonings out of your extra deck.
And he's an extra deck Malefic, which is generally superior.
And he's the extra deck Malefic, which is...
There's also probably the next guy or two, whatever the next one of them is.
2 Malefic Rainbow Dragons. Obviously, as you know, the 2 Rainbow Dragons in my deck, because he's a 4000 beat stick. And the reason you want to play more of the different Malefics, and why I also added the Blue Eyes, is because there's a new spell card that allows you to have more than a singular Malefic on the field, but they have to have the different names. They cannot be the same one. So you do want to have, like, possibly 2 Rainbows and 2 Cyber End Dragons instead of 3 Cyber End Dragons and 1 Rainbow, just because of that one reason now. And then here's the 2 Malefic Cyber End Dragons.
The other guy I was alluding to.
You have the best Malefic monster in this deck.
You draw into it and you just use it. You don't have to worry about having another card to banish.
And I'm still new to these newer cards myself. So this card is called Malefic Selector. And you just basically just banish 2 Malefic cards from your deck, add 2 Malefic cards from your deck to your hand, any 2, except Malefic Selector. They have to have different names from the banished cards. So it's just a searcher for it, kind of like a searcher for Malefic / Pedigree. Malefic Divide. Now this one I know, because this one I very much remember, because me and my old friend used to check around with this in the movie. It's a monster reborn full Malefic monster, no matter what. It's ignoring its summoning conditions. It's a quick play, but I think it's banished during the end phase of the turn that you activate it.
I would think so.
It's banished, yeah. It's not destroyed, it's banished. So, not the greatest card, but
it's
still
super dead.
Something. Seal of Orichalcos. I used to play this because my opponent cannot attack the weaker monsters I control without attacking the highest attacking monster.
So you put like
first.
Truth Dragon on the field and say, okay, run it over.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
It's technically doable, but most decks can't.
That and this card have protection within itself, so it's kind of hard to get this field spell off the field from your opponent to try to negate and stuff. The only problem with this is that you couldn't summon from the extra deck, so do not plan on doing any single plays when you're playing this card.
I mean, if the deck goes off, you shouldn't need to.
Yep. Mounted the Bound Creator. I play this card because of my level 10 or higher monsters, True Dragon,
right.
Cyber End, or Rainbow. Cannot be destroyed by card effects, it is, I believe. Targeted or destroyed by card effects.
That's
so
pretty
they were
good.
prevented of that, and
I mean, you could still like Drowning Mirror Force or something.
Yeah,
something that would non-target.
But your opponent couldn't technically target or destroy them. They would have to destroy them by battle for the most part, which would be very hard to do.
Like I said, you would need a non-targeting send
or something like that. Yeah,
or like a non-targeting banish, which doesn't.
And if if they destroyed your opponent's monster, which normally back in the day you can only attack with the one Malefic, it would deal burn damage of 1,000 points of damage. So that was a really good card. And then Terraforming, the one for your
your one-stop shop for field spell finding.
White Geki to try to blow up your opponent's field just to get them for a direct attack. Reminder that this is a lot of my old deck because it's a still work in progress, and it's still a little bit of a strategizing of Malefics.
Kind of needs a little bit of playtesting yet, but here's like a sneak peek into it.
And like I said, I don't own like 3 of a lot of these cards because I just got what I was able to get from my from my local card store,
Yeah.
from meeting up with them and from the boxes and stuff.
That, and I was gonna say, with the apocalypse kind of happening, it's kind of hard to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards right now.
Exactly. I pulled 2 of these guys. This is the new Malefic Territory. This is the card that it allows you to control more than a Malefic monster.
See, this would probably be better as a field spell.
This is the one that activates Malefic World from your deck.
Yeah.
You can activate
Oh, it does? Okay, so this is like your extra terraforming for Malefic.
Yeah. And neither player can target a card in the field zone with card effects, so they cannot destroy your...
So it's a field barrier.
It's a field barrier.
And a terraforming for, what was it, Malefic Zone?
Yep. So field barrier is not really that much useful. You don't really need field barrier in this because of that. So I play a 1 of a field barrier in this deck because of that.
In case, I guess, the other field spells.
Exactly. So Malefic Territory, very good card. Dragon's Ravine. I only play this because if you did have a brick in your hand or you just needed a discard or whatever, you just have this for like to bring out Malefic True Dragon from your deck to the graveyard. By putting True Dragon in the graveyard. Now, this is one of the old plays I used to do. It might not be necessary now because you can kind of search them a lot.
You kind of dump it and then revive it.
You just dump it, so whenever your Malefic monster will be destroyed, you have him in the
Yeah, you have a
graveyard,
B
turn
play.
1, and you summon him. So, that's what that was for.
Not a bad play, at least.
Actually, I do play 2 field barriers, so 2 field
Not
barriers.
bad. I mean, the deck heavily relies on having a field spell, so
Yeah.
field barrier probably isn't the worst.
You might be able to bring this back to 1. If anything, replace one of these with another Malefic
Yeah.
Territory, basically.
But even then, like, you could have Malefic Territory and field barrier,
Yeah.
and you're basically saying you have 3 chains before you can blow up my field.
Exactly. I play 2 Malefic World, because there's a lot of field spells in this, for example, and Malefic World is actually now searchable, so, and activatable from the deck, so you only really need 2 of this. No, you don't really need a 3rd one.
Yeah. Oh boy, I see a spicy card coming up.
And then I play this because this card helped the deck so many ways. Mystic Mine.
I mean, it's a low quantity monster deck.
Yeah.
If you're playing Mystic Mine, you can only have 1 Malefic monster on the field, and that's basically your end goal.
Exactly. That's why I was playing this a lot.
It can play through it pretty decently.
I did have a lot of like low level monsters that in this deck that were not Malefics that I took out, like Fire Hand and Ice Hand. I may end up trying to look for other like low level monsters.
There's
to
also,
kind of
what is
build
it, Thunder Hand coming up?
Thunder Hand. That's gonna, yeah. Like
That,
I might
that
put
might
this,
make it kind of spicy.
I might put
But
this. back
I don't
in
know.
This deck.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I forget what Thunder Hand does, but I think it could be some spicy tech, possibly.
It does.
At least in a fun deck.
There can only be one. Maybe
Only.
maybe a secondary copy of this because this
Yeah, that's a good floodgate.
is a very good card. If you're
And you can play through that
you're
with
playing
this
Ice
deck
Hand
pretty
and
well.
Fire Hand with these Malefics and other stuff.
It's a little bit tough.
And if you weren't relying around Malefic Territory, I mean, this stuff was just good and spicy.
Yeah.
Skill Drain, because you do not want to play that without Skill Drain. This deck
Yeah,
without Skill
this
Drain.
deck isn't really hurt by it too much,
Not really anymore, but
and it can screw over your opponent pretty good if
yeah.
under the right.
Summon Limit, that's a really good card for this deck.
The bane
as
of
well.
most players' existence,
Yep.
but a necessary evil, if you ask me.
Another one of the brand new Malefic cards, Malefic Tune.
Man, I didn't know that Malefic got tune support. I didn't know Pegasus started playing Malefics.
It sounds like a Tune thing, but
Yeah, well, tune like a
so
tuning
this
fork.
card basically, face a Malefic monster, you will be destroyed by battle card effect. Draw 2 cards. If a Malefic monster you control is destroyed while this card is in your graveyard, you banish this card from your graveyard. Add 1 Malefic monster from your deck to your hand. So again, you don't really even need Dragon's Ravine. I mean, these cards
Yeah.
just can do a lot for you.
The only downside is it's a trap,
Yeah. But
so it's a little bit clunky.
There's a reason as to kind of why it's a trap. Malefic Claw Stream. This card is pretty amazing.
What was this one? I always forget what this one was.
It just destroys a monster.
Okay, if you only control a face-up malefic monster, select one monster your opponent controls destroyed. Okay, so it's like Burst Stream of Destruction.
Yeah, I don't really
kind
need
of along
3
that
in this.
vein.
I don't really need 3
I'd
in
probably
this deck.
cut that down to maybe a 1-of for some of the newer cards.
It depends, because this card you kind of use to blow up your opponent's board. I would say 2, really.
Or like you could use it and then just run like a Twin Twister in that place. But just alternatives.
Another field spell, Soldier, and then a card I used to play all the time just to help with the consistency of Malefic, Shadow, and Punishing Mirror. This was your skill drain for your Malefic. So if your opponent's playing another dark type attribute deck,
which is pretty common,
that screws them over. If not, it is still at least negated your Malefic monster's effects, so you can still hit them off with what it was that they needed without a field spell and stuff.
See, but I think we confirmed that doesn't work anymore, though. If it ever did.
No, not that. It still negates the effects where it don't need a field spell on the field, and you can still attack with the other low-level
one of those if the field spell gets blown up.
Ice Hand, Fire Hand, Blast Sphere, all these other stupid low-level decks or Pango Tops or whatever, you could still attack with all of them when I used to play them like that. As far as the extra deck, I play 2 Stardust Dragons.
For Malefic.
For the banishment. For the Malefic.
Yep.
And then I play 2 Malefic Paradox Scares. Paradox Dragon. This guy summons a single monster out of your opponent's graveyard onto your side of the field.
Which might get better with the coming days, assuming it doesn't get negated to hell.
Which is basically all it does. You might not really be seeing him in play, but with the new Master Wolf 5, you might be.
I expect Synchro to get more common.
Dragonautics Corrupted Nether Soul Dragon. I think that's how you say its name.
That's the worst anime villain ever.
That's usually the main monster I go into with my Malefic single plays. It's because it's a generic good card. It can burn your opponent and lower the monster's attack points, and it can attack twice during each battle phase on monsters, and cannot be destroyed by battle. I wish the effect couldn't be destroyed by a card effect. That would be better. And then the 2 Cyber End Dragons for the Malefic.
Because that's the only way you play Cyber End Dragon.
Exactly. As far as the side deck, it's not really much. It's just kind of for extra stuff I have. Okay, so this 17 cards in this side deck is because I threw cards in here. It's not really 15, but I just pulled stuff out of there. But for example, like this is just kind of stuff I kind of took out from my old deck. Was like, well, Malefic Red Eyes I just kind of left there because it's a Malefic Red Eyes, but he's not good, so you're not really going to be playing him. Remember, this is like 17 cards, so it's not really much of a side deck. It's just kind of extra stuff.
It's just stuff that you had lying around.
Dino Wrestler, Pango Tops.
I guess you could say it's experimental.
A lot of this stuff is kind of my old deck I just threw on the side here and didn't really look at. Wall of Refilling Light to give yourself protection so you won't really wide open. The 3rd Field Barrier that I had. Mirror Force to try to blow up your opponent's board.
I'd say Mirror Force shouldn't need to be explained, but...
There's that Red Eyes Bee Dragon. There's the Blue Eyes Ray Dragon, which you actually would want to hold on to just in case. Exploder Dragon to destroy my opponent's monster. Solemn Wishes to give yourself life points back, because believe it or not, this is a card that I have seen a lot of play that actually helped me in past Malefic duels. Maybe not anymore because of everything the way it is in Yugioh now.
And there's so much back row hate now.
Yep. Mystic Plasma Zone. It's just a generic card to increase your dark type monster's effect, and it's a field spell. Another Shadow and Punishing Mirror. Dimensional Guardian, so opponent can destroy your opponent's monster. And then the quadruple Fire Hand and Ice Hand, which those you would definitely want to hold on to if you're kind of playing this deck that I'm building, kind of working with, just in case if you go back to that format.
Yeah. Not the worst card.
They summon themselves from the deck, each one of each other consistently, and they destroy.
And you can just kind of cycle through and go destroy monster, destroy card, destroy monster, destroy card.
Destroy monster, destroy spell trap, destroy monster, and then that
lightning vortex because nothing better.
Yeah. So that's it for the Malefic deck review video. Now for the special card.
So we both know what this is. Mm-hmm. They don't know what this is. They might like to see this.
Take a guess as to...
And put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Pause the video, go down to the comments, tell us how you didn't put the card in the comments that you thought it was going to be. And then come back to the video.
Alright, so this face down card is none other than the DDS Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's a little...
I'm getting some of the foil effect.
Yeah, it's
the corners are a little bit, you can't really see it on the camera, but
a little tiny bit, but I got
rough
this
around
one.
the edges. But
thank you to the guy who sold me this. I won it off an auction, and I got it for only $510. And this isn't. And this is not a bad. This is not a very bad card. Well, it's not bad in the shape. That's all I'm gonna say. It's don't got creases. It's not really got any bends.
It doesn't look like someone ran it through the washing machine, shoved it in their back pocket, and sat on it.
And he has specialized cards in the background here. So now we're gonna take this puppy out.
Do you want a knife?
I got it.
All right.
And check out the back of it.
That's what I'm curious to see. Let's put that like face down over there.
This the DDS Blue Eyes in all of its glory.
Let's see what the back looks like.
I didn't even see the phone myself.
The back, it's just like Sharpied. It's like, get pranked, kid.
This is the back of the card.
Oh, that's not terrible. Yeah, that's not terrible.
And it is Konami. It is a Konami Yu-Gi-Oh card. That's all that matters.
And then we also got the secret mystery cards. I saw the one.
I'm just very careful with this, man. The most expensive freaking cards ever, dude.
So you gotta give it like a really clickbait thumbnail. You gotta do one more. It's like, I ripped a DDS Blue Eyes in half! Exclamation point, question mark, and really you didn't.
Rip it or flip it video.
Exclamation point, question mark.
Okay. So
Prank gone too far?
what is this? You guys are probably seeing it on the camera right now. I'm not seeing it.
10 life hacks you will have to see to believe.
So the first card,
I can see what the first card is. It's
common
just
Blue
a little
Eyes.
Blue Eyes, which is kind of neat.
Hey, I gotta know.
Yeah, it's extra stuff.
They made a comment of this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I think it was this. What was that? The legendary. You sure you don't want a knife?
Yeah, I probably need it for this one. I can't get it out. This little baggie.
I say it should be sharp, so be careful.
There you go.
Say a sharp knife is less dangerous than an adult one.
If I got a ghost, I'll be happy. But
I doubt it.
Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes. I told you.
Oh, is it like all of the legendary collection ones?
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, you got Shining at least.
I told you it's gonna be a Blue Eye set.
That's kind of neat. I mean,
I don't know. I thought this Blue Eyes. There was a Blue Eye Shining Dragon out of set that was very valuable. I don't think this is it though.
probably not.
No, it's not. This is a secret.
Yeah.
And this is a legendary Kaiba thing.
I take it they're both the
Hey,
hey, you know what? It's more than you were expecting, so.
you can't go wrong with this.
See, look, now you have a play set of Blue Eyes White Dragons, right?
Yep.
And then
The Blue Eye Shining Dragon. Now all I need is the Ultimate Dragon.
yeah, didn't Shining Dragon come out before Ultimate Dragon?
It might have.
And so like you couldn't even summon it when it came out.
I forget what that one box set is called. I would have to look it up. It's like a very old Yu-Gi-Oh pack that guaranteed that you got like a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and that's like $600 box opening. I wanted to get one of those to open it on the channel, but yep.
Do an outro.
That's it for this video, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, ring the bell. I would say check out the Patreon, but that doesn't exist and probably won't. What are other stupid things? I guess, peace.
Peace.